Hello everyone. Can you please confirm in the chat box if I'm audible to everyone clearly? Kindly confirm in the chat box if I'm audible to all of you so that we can begin with the today's session. Kindly confirm in the chat box, please. Yes, I'm waiting for your replies. Please confirm in the chat box with a yes or no if I'm clearly audible and the screen is visible to all of you. Please let me know in the chat box. Yeah, please let me know. Okay, others also please tell me if I'm clearly audible. Screen is visible to everyone so that we can begin with the today's session. I hope I'm audible to everyone, right? All right. Okay. So, okay. So today we are going to do our we are here with a marathon session for English, right? So this is our grade 9 session for the book Beehive as well as Moments. We are going to do the chapters. So basically, as we have the midterms very near, so I have planned to do a marathon session. We are going to cover the important chapters. We are going to do the questions and a very quick summary along with a Menti quiz. Okay, so make sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel if you didn't do it till now. So, uh, yes, yeah, we are going to do it. So, see, next is what things we are going to cover today. So, first of all, we are going to do the fun they had chapter from your book Beehive from your main reader. Then Sound of Music, the part one, part two, both Little Girl. Then Adventures of Toto, which is from your second book supplementary, that is Toto. And we are going to do the the supplementary reader, that is Moments, and we are going to discuss Adventures of Toto, and we are going to do a Menti quiz based on all these chapters. Okay, so let's start with the first chapter, that is the fun they had. So this is the very first chapter of your book, correct? The very first chapter of the book. uh very first chapter of the book, Beehive. This is the first chapter of grade 9 also, right? So this chapter we're going to discuss firstly, that is the fun they had. We're going to do summary as well as some important questions which may come in your examination. So those questions we are going to practice today. So let's start with the fun they had. Okay, now how does the story starts here? So the author it's very important to know who the author is, what they are, and because in the exam they may ask you an MCQ about the author. So this story, the fun they had, is written by the author Isaac Asimov. So he's the author of this beautiful story. Now there are two main characters, that is Margie and Tommy. So Margie and Tommy are the two characters, and there are multiple more the side characters, that are the county inspector as well as the mother. Right, now what is the story is revolving around what theme? The theme is about the technological progress and education in the future. In the future, how will be the education done, and what will be, how will the technology grow? Correct, that is what is going to happen, correct? So the setting of this story is what? It is in Margie's house only, right? It's in Margie's house. Okay, it's in Margie's house, but it is not in 2022, it is in 2157, right? Yes, correct. In 2157 this story is starting, and so we can understand it is a very after much long time that we will get to see such kind of technology. So what is the year? 2157 is the year where the story is going around. Okay, now how what happens in the story, we are going to quickly revise the whole story, right, before going towards the question. So here let's see what happens is, in the beginning, Tommy, he is a 13-year-old boy. Okay, Margie is a 11-year-old girl. So Tommy, they find a real book in the attic. Okay, attic means above the roof. Okay, above the roof there is a room. Okay, where we keep the book, old things, and also that is the attic. So there Tommy, he finds a real book, okay, and the children find it very funny. Why is it funny? Because in 2157 there are no books printed, there are everything digital, right? There are no books and everything. So that's what Tommy feels, right? And Margie, that what is this? A real, what kind of book is this? Correct. Now, what happened is the book, what the book says about, the book is about the old schooling system. Old schooling as in the schooling which is right now going on, okay. That kind of schooling system is explained in that book, which is of the great grandfathers of Margie. Now the kids discuss what it must have been to study in the old type of school. Now, old type of school, what are the old type of school? Like right now, the students, what happened, they go to a school, they go to a building known as school, right? Then there are human teachers, there are books we write in and textbooks, right? But during that time it was not like that. There were telebooks, mechanical teachers, right? uh, there were mechanical mechanical teachers, and they used to teach it, right? So that is why they both find it very amusing. Yes, correct, television education, right? Now Marge is skeptical initially but later realizes the fun. Basically she thinks is skeptical as in she's little bit like strange, that what is this book, or who writes about schools in the book and all. I hate, because Margie usually hated school. Okay, the Margie usually hated school. Okay, but later she realizes how fun it was in the old days, right? So Margie, she doesn't likes her computer teacher, a mechanical teacher coming and teaching. Right, there is a homework slot in which you have to put the homeworks, right? And she fantasizes as in she recalls, she understands, imagines how the old days kids must have loved studying in groups from a human teacher, isn't it? So right now as you guys study from a human teacher, isn't it? She thinks that it would be so good if there would be a teacher who teaches us also, human teacher, correct? Now what happened is, why did they think about it? The main background is that the children in the future are taught at home individually by a mechanical teacher. Now we have all the students go to a school and study, but here what happens is each of the students are taught at their home only. Okay, if they're taught at the home, each person, each student in each room, that way it is done, right? So Margie finds it very boring. Okay, so books on paper were almost unheard of. Means book paper, what was that? They didn't knew about that. They, that time they used the telebooks. Okay, the telebooks were used, means the books which are present on the television, like the telebooks, the PDFs which we use, isn't it? That kind of books they used to use, isn't it? They did not have any printed book, notebooks and such things. They weren't present during that time. Okay, so that is about whole story, the fun they had, right? One more thing is there, when Margie used to score very bad in geography. So what happened was, her computer, the teacher, mechanical teacher, was set up at a little bit higher level. So what happened was, it was given for repairing to the county inspector. Okay, so he quickly repaired it and said that Margie's performance in geography was quite satisfactory, right? So that is one more part present. Okay, so now let's do some important questions of this chapter. Okay, we're going to discuss some important questions. First one, describe Tommy's character. Okay, so character sketches are very, very important. We have to describe about Tommy's character. How was he? Okay, so we have to explain that how was Tommy, his characteristics, right? So what can we say is that rude, yes, we can say kind of rude, right? He was a little bit nostalgic. Now what happened, Tommy in the book, it's given G, what a waste, right? When you're thorough with the book, you just throw it away. That is what Tommy said. He was a kind of little bit rude also, right? He says that what a waste is this book. Whenever you're done reading it, throw it away. Just a waste of time and money, isn't it? So Tommy was quite, as in repelled by the book, right? And he looked at her with surprise, very superior eyes. Okay, her, who is this? Her is nothing but Margie. Okay, so Tommy looked with very superior eyes. because it's not our kind of school, stupid. This is the old kind of school that they had 100 ago. He added loftily. So this is how Tommy says to Margie that in the previous time, this is not of today's time, you stupid. This is of the previous time. So you can understand he's telling such words, stupid and all. So he's a little bit rude to her, right? Now, pronouncing the word carefully, centuries ago. So he says that it's not 1 2 years ago, it is centuries ago. So he adds that way. Now, Tommy screamed with laughter. You don't know much, Margie. Right? So, when she asked anything or says anything, he started to laugh. He started to show a little bit arrogant, right? Because he was a little bit older than, Margie. So, he said that you do not know anything, Margie. Then, maybe he said nonchalantly. He walked away whistling, the dusty old book tucked beneath his arm. So, if you see, in the book, she says that once we are done with the school, can we read this book again? So he says that nonchalantly, means in a kind of attitude. Tommy says that okay, maybe we will see, maybe we do. So that way he replies and goes. So we can describe Tommy's character a little bit. He was, skeptical, nostalgic, we can consider that way. Okay. Now, what kind of teachers Margie and Tommy have? Now, such kind of, what you can use for short answer, you can use the pie structure. Pie structure. What is the pie structure? Point, illustrate, explain. So, firstly, your first sentence should be the direct answer to the question. Then, for illustration, you will add some examples, and explaining at the end, you will explain your answer. If you use this pie structure, you will get full marks. Now, our first answer will be Margie and Tommy had mechanical teachers. We are giving a direct answer. What kind of teachers? Mechanical teachers. Direct teachers. We are going to directly give the answer to it. Okay. Now, how do we explain it with the example? There were large screens on which lessons were shown. The mechanical teacher had slots where they had to insert their homeworks and test papers. The students had to write answers using punch codes, and the teacher would calculate their marks immediately. This is an example from the books. Yes, correct. Correct coding. It's computers. Now, next is explanation. Thus, because of such robot or machine like features, we can say that teachers were mechanical ones. Okay. Now, see, this is how you will write your answer. Now, see, what happens is, let me explain you. When we talk about Margie and Tommy, they did not have the human teachers as like I am teaching you how. I'm a human, right? It's not a computer teaching you. Then in your school, you study with teachers. So, there's a human who teaches you, right? But Margie and Tommy learned from computers. A robot used to teach them. Correct. Now they were nothing but large screens. There were some, you know, slots where they put their homework, the test papers. Then they write the form of punch code. Punch code, as in you can consider kind of OMR sheets. They mark it and then they give it, and the teacher will immediately give their answers. Okay. So we will say that that was a mechanical teacher. Next, Margie seemed immensely enthusiastic and inquisitive about the old books that Tommy found. Can you describe Tommy's response and identify his tone towards Margie? So, by the same structure, what we are going to do is we have to know. Now, Margie, when she found such an old book, she was very excited about it. Okay, but how did Tommy reply to her? What was his tone? We have to describe that. So basically, Tommy finds Marge's constant questioning annoying and naive. Okay, so annoying and naive as in, stupid questions. Okay, stupid, innocent kind of questions. That is naive. So Tommy was finding that her questioning, question again and again questions like that is very annoying and naive. Most of the time, he was answering her questions in the all-knowing tone that I know everything. Yeah, maybe we will do it. You do not know anything. That he used to know as if he knew everything. Okay, so he was not curious and enthusiastic about the book as Margie was. Okay, so what happened was, she was so excited, right? But when we're talking about Tommy, he wasn't that excited. Yes, it was a skeptical tone. So he wasn't that excited as Margie was. Okay. Now, we can conclude that Tommy, he was displeased and annoyed with Margie's curiosity towards the old books. Okay, so displeased as in he was not pleased, he was like irritated by Margie continuously asking him and showing that much interest in the book. So he find it very annoying. Okay, next question. Compare the schools that Margie attended and the old schools which she imagined about. So this is a differentiation. Okay, how did the old schools and the Margie school, the computer teachers, a room in which we study, compared with the human teachers and the school we go, right? Now, how will we explain this? See, the school in which Margie studied and the old school she imagined were totally different from each other. Right? The main point is it was quite different. Correct. Margie, what happened in her school? In Margie's school, she had to study all alone, no classmate, no friends, nothing, with the mechanical teacher, and was a repetitive and boring experience. So basically, no human teacher would interact, understand the emotional conditions and all. No, she would simply come, start teaching, go. Right? She was a mechanical teacher. Was a mechanical teacher. What a robot does? Will it understand the feelings? Obviously, no. Correct. So it was quite boring experience for her. But the old school, when we talk about, they had children from the whole neighborhood meeting up and playing. Additionally, educators were individuals. So basically, in the current schooling system, for them it is the old. So the current school is how it is, every students meet together, teachers come and then they explain your concepts and all, right? They go, they interact individually, correct? But during that time, you guys have friends and you play, eat together. But Margie, Tommy, they did not have such kind of experience because they were always alone. They studied in the room which was just beside their bedroom. Okay, so thus we can say that there are many differences between both the schools. Okay, there can be a question that which one do you most prefer, such kind of school or the school which we have, correct? So that was all about the first chapter, that is of fun they had. uh, so next one is the next chapter, that is sound of music. Okay. Yes, yeah, we are going to do Sound of Music. So, Sound of Music, it is there are two parts, part one and part two. So, part one is of Evelyn Glennie. So, we are going to learn about her. So, let's see one quick mind map, right? So, Evelyn Glennie, when I talk about, so basically this poem, this story, not poem, this revolves around the two very famous musicians, Evelyn Glennie and Bismillah Khan. So, then many struggles, correct? Evelyn, she was physically disabled, right? And but still she you could overcome. Now let's understand about her. We have come up live with one whole video about this chapter also. So Evelyn Glennie, her mother came to know about her deafness at the age of 8. When at the age of 8, she was called for a competition. So when the people were announcing the name, she couldn't hear it. So, and at the age of 11, her deafness was confirmed. What was her struggle? She was deaf. She was deaf, she couldn't hear. But still, she was demotivated by her teachers, principals for playing the xylophone. She had a very great interest in playing xylophone, but the teacher said, no, you're deaf, you cannot do this, you don't do it. Okay. Now, the main themes of this chapter, this part tells us about music, persistence, and zeal to succeed. So, basically, although being deaf, she couldn't hear, she couldn't hear, right? But still, being disabled, also she could manage, right? She could easily manage to, come up and become more and more successful. Okay, she used to listen to the sound without hearing it. Okay, as in she used to feel the music. She didn't hear it. Okay, doesn't hear the music. She used to feel the music. Okay, what did she do? She used to feel the music by her fingertips, by lower hip, upper hip, and the nails, the foot. that way. Now, what was her education? She had given an exam in the Royal Academy of Music, which was in London, okay, and she was the highest scorer in the history. People who were very well versed, they couldn't score that high as she did in the Royal Academy of Music, being deaf. Although she was deaf, but still she managed to be the highest scorer in the whole history of Royal Academy. Right now, her motivations. Ron Forbes was the again another famous percussionist who motivated her to succeed. He was the mentor. Correct. He was the mentor for Evelyn, and she used to learn from Ron Forbes that how can I feel the music. Okay, now what her works? She was a multi percussionist. She had mastered 1,000 plus instruments. She knew other languages like French, Japanese. Also, she used to know. Correct, and she usually gave free concerts in prisons, hospitals. Right. In such places, she used to give, free concerts. Freely, she used to pay, play the music for them. Right. So, this is the story about Evelyn Greeley. Okay. Let's solve your questions and we'll go towards Bismillah Khan. Now, Evelyn was very young when she did her first tour. Can you explain why the tour played an important role in her music career? So, basically, whenever she when she went for the tour, okay, tour, to the Royal Academy and other places. So what happened was she was quite young. Okay, she was young, but still it was very important in the career. Yes. So in the London, yeah. So how was it? So we have to explain that. So see here, Evelyn first was the at the age of 16. So at the age of just 16 years, she gave her first tour where she performed with the youth orchestra. So in the youth orchestra, she gave her first tour at the age of 16. Now she toured the United Kingdom's UK, and after that too, she decided that she would make a career in music. She thought that okay, now I want to give a tour in. Now I have taken a tour in United Kingdom. Now I want to make a career of music itself. Now, since the tour was instrumental and motivational to her to have made such a decision, we can say it played an important role in her career. So basically, when the entire orchestra was based on instruments, motivation, and also she was quite, highly self-esteemed. So she said that no, I want to make my career in music only. Okay, so that's why it was a very important, role. The first tour was very important to her in the career. Ron Forbes, next question is Ron Forbes' role was significant in Evelyn's life. Elucidate. So basically, Ron Forbes he played a very important role, a most major role in her life. How? We have to explain that. So basically, Ron Forbes he played a very important role in Evelyn's life. He was also a percussionist only. Now, Ron Forbes had spotted her talent and potential. He guided Evelyn to feel music some other way rather than hearing it. He got two large drums and turned them to different notes. He helped Evelyn to respond to distinct notes differently. So basically, what happened is, uh, he was a mentor. Okay, he was the mentor. Okay, then what happened was spotted the talent. Okay, yeah, correct. Yes, we are going to do a Menti quiz also. So basically, she used to, she was the one who had good talent and potential, and Ron was the one who could identify that. He got two large drums, okay, and he turned them up, and he helped and explained Evelyn to understand that how you can hear, how can you respond to such different kinds of music notes. So thus Ron Forbes encouraged and helped her to grow her passion for music. So her such great talent and such great esteem was the one thing that Ron Forbes have taken up. Okay. Now, next one is Evelyn was a great inspiration for deaf children. Do you agree? Now, such kind of agree, not agreeing questions, we have to do it via the TOS structure. What is TOS structure? Thesis, opinion, explanation, and summary. Thesis as in we will paraphrase the question in half or one or half sentences, means we are going to reframe this question. Okay, that is my thesis. Opinion, I will we have to write that whether we are agreeing it or not. Then we have to explain our opinion with the help of an example, and then we can summarize our reason. Okay, so let's see how we'll frame this. So see, Evelyn has been a shining inspiration for deaf children. Okay, Evelyn was a great inspiration. I have rewritten in the form of shining inspiration. Right. So I completely agree with this statement. Now, so we are telling you it is agreeing. Now we will explain it. Evelyn, she was the highest scorer in the history of the prestigious academy in London, that was the Royal Academy. And in 1991, she was present with the Royal Philharmonic Society's prestigious Soloist of the Year award. Okay, and apart from the regular concerts, she gave free concerts in prisons or in hospitals also. So basically, she was an inspiration for deaf children. Why? Although the people who were physically abled, okay, they had no problem, but still they couldn't score that good as uh, Evelyn did. So she was definitely an inspiration for all deaf children. She even got the Soloist of the Year award. Okay, and in spite of her deafness and various other struggles, she even managed to become an acclaimed international percussionist. Now, it can be said that she has accomplished more than most people twice her age. But more than her accomplishment, her undying attitude to fight her shortcomings is the most inspirational aspect about her. So, what were her shortcomings? Nothing, but she was deaf. So it's very difficult for a person who is deaf to play music, but still she managed to do it, and she mastered so many instruments, right? So this was all about the first part, that is of Evelyn Glennie. Moving to the next one, which is of Bismillah Khan. Okay, so Bismillah Khan, it's the part 2, okay, of the same chapter. So let's see. Now again, first quick diagram. So this chapter, the part Bismillah Khan, is all about the one instrument, that is Shehnai. Now Shehnai, how did it get it? So it is known as pungi. It was known as pungi. Okay, but what happened there was, in the courts of Shah. In the courts of Shah, a Nai came. Nai as in barber. We call barber. We call barber in Hindi as Nai. So a Nai came and he fixed this pungi in a good and pleasant sound. So that way that pungi came to be known as Shehnai. It was played in the Shah kingdom, okay, the Shah chambers, and it was made by a Nai. So Shehnai was the name. So basically, how does Bismillah Khan? He was a master of Shehnai, right? So he was born in Dumrao, Bihar, 1916. In 1916, Bihar, Bismillah Khan was born. His father was Paigambar Bucks and grandfather was Razul Bucks Khan. So these were the father, grandfather. Okay. Now what was his achievements? He invented ragas. He used to, the rags which are there to control the, nature and all, he invented those. He even played the Shehnai on the Independence Day in 1947. Also he played his Shehnai to, pay respect to the country. He even played in the Lincoln Central Hall, which is present in the USA. A person living in village. From there, he went to USA and gave the Shehnai. Okay, I mean, played it. After that, he, for such great achievements, he even received the Bharat Ratna, that is the India's most highest civilian award, Bharat Ratna. Now he even used to play when he was small and middle aged. He used to play in Balaji and Mangalmay temples also. In many temples like Balaji, Mangalmay, the Shehnai was played by Bismillah Khan. Next, he even sang the Chaita, Bhojpuri Chaita at the Bihariji temple. So in the temple at Bihar, Bihariji temple, he played the Chaita, known as the uh, it was known as the Bhojpuri Chaita. Okay. Yes. Yeah, we are going to do the questions for this chapter too. Yeah. Now, so Bhojpuri Chaita, it was sung by him. Next, In movies also he played few sounds by Shehnai. That was in Goon Juti Shehnai and Sanadi Apana. So in such movies also Shehnai was played by Bismillah Khan. So we can understand how Shehnai was a very important instrument for Bismillah Khan, how Evelyn Glennie was inspired and she played her instruments. On the same other hand, we have in India that was Shehnai, which was played by Bismillah Khan. Right now, also in auspicious, ceremonies and in marriages, Shehnai is played, isn't it? So there are so many achievements of Bismillah Khan. He received Bharat Ratna, then he sang the Bhojpuri Chaita. He even gave music in movies also. He used to play such, Shehra in the beginning in Balaji, Mangalmay kind of temples, right? Now, he had even got a chance by his student, one of his students, to go and teach in London at a very, become a headmaster there. But what he said that I do not want to leave my Ganga. Right? He used to live near Ganga River, right? So he said that I do not want to leave. He used to live in Banaras. So he said that I do not want to leave. I will stay here only. So that is the major thing about Bismillah Khan. Okay, so let's do some questions based on him. Now, Bismillah Khan played the Shehnai on 15th August 1947, or Independence Day. So, elucidate why the event was considered historic. Now, we know that the event was historic. Why was it historic? That was the time when we Indians got independence from the British, isn't it? So, answer is on the momentous occasion of India's independence on 15th August 1947, Bismillah Khan he had the honor of greeting the nation by playing Rag Kafi at the Red Fort. So Red Fort red right in the Red Fort on the day of Independence Day, he was selected to pay respect, pay honor, okay, and play the Rag Kafi. So it was again a raga, okay, which was played by Bismillah Khan. His Shehnai tunes ushered the nation into an era of independence. Bismillah, Bismillah Khan's performance was followed by a historic speech, Trust with Destiny, given by India's first Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. So basically, his tunes, his tunes was spread all over India, and it gave a very great patriotic sense of independence. Right now, Bismillah Khan, along with his performance, the first Prime Minister of India, Jawaharlal Nehru, he also gave a very historic speech known as the Trust with Destiny. Okay, and thus we can say that this event was very historic and quite patriotic for Bismillah Khan too. Now, what do you know about the central theme of the sound of music? So basically, this is about the whole chapter. Okay, not about Bismillah Khan, even of Evelyn Glennie. Both of them comment. So, what is the main idea? So basically, the central theme, the main idea of the lesson is nothing but the musical pursuit. Music as life, that is the main thing. And the fact that virtues of hard work and extraordinary efforts are constantly rewarded via their accomplishments. So, when whatever hard works we face and we do for achieving anything, the consequences are always sweet with it. Correct. Now, the themes of the lesson are well conveyed through the lives of Evelyn Glennie and Bismillah Khan, who were very great music maestros. Correct. So, Bismillah Khan, well versed in Shehnai. Evelyn Glennie, she was the multi percussionist, isn't it? So we get to know so much about them. Now, Evelyn Glennie, she rose to the international acclaim as a multi-percussionist because of her tireless efforts, which enabled her to overcome her handicapness, right? Rather than giving in to her deafness. She didn't be like, oh no, I am deaf, I'll go to some, handicapped school here and there. No, what happened was she was the one who could perform it. Yes, correct, correct. No, Evelyn Glennie basically she wasn't the one who could, she planned something, to do wrong. No, that was not the thing. She said that no, I will try to live like a normal one. Yes, correct. Okay, now with her perseverance, she made it. Okay, yeah, she made every attempt to hear music through various parts of her body and never looked back. Music. How do we listen music with our ears, isn't it? But she couldn't hear with the ears, so that's why she felt the music. The vibrations went through her body. Okay, and with such kind of ability, she went into the Royal Academy of Music in London also, and she received some very prestigious accolades, which are the achievements like the Soloist of the Year from the Philharmonic Society. Now, her unwavering dedication to her art was elevated percussion to a new level at global stage. So at global level, her art had reached. Okay. Similarly, talk about Bismillah Khan. He was also devoted to his art and rose to a fame as Shehnai Vaddak. Okay. Bismillah Khan was known as the Shehnai Vaddak. So he too he worked super hard to turn the Shehnai, which is a normal instrument which people didn't even like that much. But when it was converted, so the people used to like it a lot, and he made it a classical instrument. He greatly improved on what he had inherited by broadening the range of Shehnai. So he invented more Shehnai musical tones, the ragas also, right? So we understand that both of their lives are wonderful examples of how hard work and dedication will always lead to success only. And these lives of two such great renowned artists, Evelyn Glynny and Bismillah Khan, inspire us to become our better self. It doesn't, if something do not go as planned, we shouldn't give up. We always should keep on trying. That is the main idea. Let's move towards the next chapter about a little girl, that is the little girl. Correct. So this chapter talks about a girl, correct, whose name is Kezia. Correct. She is the main character of the story. There are many others. We are going to discuss about it. So this story is about the little girl. How, what does she faces? Why does it? She is the one who doesn't likes her father, right? So. There we will understand about the whole things about this little girl. So let's see. So now talking about author of this story, the little girl, is Catherine Mansfield. So Catherine Mansfield is the author of this what we can say, the chapter, the little girl, right? So Catherine Mansfield introduction about her, she usually gave such poems that were talking about, the daily affairs, as in the household things, a little bit related to animals also, right? That was the one Catherine Mansfield was very well versed in, right? Now in this chapter also, Catherine, she mentions about a little girl named as Kezia, and how she doesn't like to live with her father, but still she tries to accept it, and at the end her mind totally changes. So that's what Catherine Mansfield explains us, that how we can accept it. So let's understand about this beautiful story written by Catherine Mansfield. So see the characters, there are majorly five characters: Kezia, Kezia's father, mother, grandmother, and Mr. McDonald's. Okay, so what happens? The setting of the story, it is in the little Kezia's house where she lives with her parents and grandmother, and even a cook named as Alice. Okay, there's a cook also. Now, what is the theme? Two themes are there. First is there the relationship between children and their parents. Children, especially father and mother, and their relationship and bonding with the child. Correct. Their strictness, rudeness, that way. The Catherine Mansfield explains that entire theme in this chapter. Next, there are themes of fear, control, acceptance, compassion, as well as changes which occur in the mind if there are any misconceptions in the mind of the child. Correct. Yes. Yep. Correct, Rohan. Yeah. Now see, how does the story starts when, in the beginning, Kezia, she is very scared of her father and always try to keep some distance from him. She says that my father isn't good. He always is rude. He never spends time with me. Keeps on sleeping the whole day. So she doesn't like her father. She considered him to be a big ass giant. He says that when he yawns, it's looking like a big giant is yawning. Always, whenever holiday, never takes and spends time with it, just sleeps and sleeps. So that is what she says. And she longed for his love and affection. So Kezia was the one who wanted that my father should love me. He should, show some affection towards me, but he didn't show. Correct, so she was very sad. But she wanted a loving father like her neighbor, Mr. McDonald's. So Mr. McDonald had 5 to 6, children. Okay. So whenever she used to say he would used to play with his children. Okay, he used to play with all his children happily, very happily he used to play. And then once another, the child threw some little bit water also with the hose pipe, but still Mr. McDonald was laughing. It because he was quite cool kind of father. But Kezia, when she saw, see my father just sleeping and sleeping, not spending time, just scolding me every time. Correct. And see, Mr. McDonald, he's so good. Then she even questions God that what is the purpose of making a fathers also if they treat us like this. So she was little bit very disheartened by seeing Mr. McDonald and her father. Now, in the middle, one very important thing occurs. So basically, it was the father's birthday, and grandmother, she said to Kezia that you can make some gift for her. Go make a gift for not her, I mean Kezia's father, so he'll be little bit happy. So Kezia thought that okay, I'll make a pin cushion. So what happened is, for she made the pin cushion with the yellow silk. She sew all the three sides. Pin cushion as in there are three sides, and so she sewed the three sides. Now one side was remaining. She had to put something in it. Now she couldn't find it. So Kezia, she mistakenly filled the pin cushion with her father's important papers. Now the father was working at the so father worked at the port authority. He had written some pages on speech he had to give. Now she tore the papers. She, because she was innocent, she didn't do it purposely. She didn't knew that you know uh, she didn't knew that she was, as in the papers were of work or what. She couldn't understand that. So that is why she just tore this paper and filled it away. But now when she gave it to the father and father couldn't find the papers, then she got to know that Kezia was the one who tore it. So father became very angry and he punished her on her a small palms. He bit him with the scale, a little bit rude. Okay, as comparatively they can ask in the exam. So yes, it was a little bit rude to beat her like this. So she felt very miserable and questioned the purpose of God in creating fathers. So she was punished by her father. He bet him and scolded her a lot. So she felt very miserable. She felt very very sad, and she questioned God also. She was crying, and she questioned God that why did you create fathers if they had to beat us, never spend time with us, and just keep on scolding us. That's what she did. But now what happened in the end? Let's understand. The end of this chapter is very good. Now what happened was, once upon the time, what happened was Kezia's mother was ill. So she was hospitalized, and grandmother went to the hospital with her, okay, with the mother, and she stayed there. Now in the home was only Kezia and Alice, okay, Alice the cook. Now what happened was, when her father came, he took rest and went to sleep. Now what happened was, Kezia, in the middle of night, she was sleeping, but in the middle of the night she had a horrible nightmare. She saw that there was a butcher. There was a butcher with a wicked smile, and he had a big kind of knife, like this knife which the butcher uses, right? That kind of knife the butcher had. So such kind of horrible nightmare she got. No, she started to she started to shout and cry. So what happened was, she found that her father quickly came running. Okay, the father quickly came, and then the father assured her, no, nothing is there, you're fine, and he comforted her. Now what happened was, with this she understood that my father is very lovely. Okay, and she even understood he loved Kezia very much, right? So as mother was not there, so he took very great care of Kezia. And while showing him affection, comforting her, he slept by himself. So she even understood that why does my father does not play and spend time with me, because he does so much hard work and he gets tired up. So that is why she felt at the end she entirely understood what the entire fatherly love he depicted. Okay, so this was the entire story. Correct, authors are very important. As I explained you, fun they had, it's written by Asik Asimov. Then the talking about Sound of Music, it doesn't have this is Deborah Cowley which wrote the both the parts. No, I guess Evelyn Glynny part, yeah. And then for this chapter, Little Girl, we have Catherine Mansfield. Okay, so authors are quite important. Let's move towards some questions of this. The this chapter. So see, what kind of attitude did Kezia's grandmother have towards her? Describe grandmother in your own words. So now what we have to do, we have to explain the grandmother's role. Okay, so let's see. Now, grandmother, she had a very understanding and mature attitude towards Kezia. So Kezia angrily, angrily and sadly, she used to cry and do that. So she was explaining her and doing everything very nicely, the grandmother. All right, Dev, it's fine. Okay, now every Sunday afternoon she could encourage Kezia to go downstairs to the drawing room, have nice conversation with the parents, and get to know them better. She also suggested Kezia to make a pin cushion out of a beautiful piece of yellow silk as a gift for her father's birthday. Right now, what happened was, the grandmother said that you go do one thing, your father's birthday is coming now, go and make a pin cushion. So what did she try to do here? She tried to make a good relationship between her son and her granddaughter, isn't it? She wanted that they both have a good relationship. Okay, so she continuously made efforts to build Kezia's bond with her parents and very supportively. She did not interfere in any matters of the house and simply provided the background support. Kezia's grandmother always wanted her to make a strong bond with her parents. So grandparents, what they do? They do nothing but they help in the proper balls. There shouldn't be fights and disputes between the family members. So what the grandmother did, she also did the same thing, that do not fight. She was at her level, she tried the best to make Kezia and her and father's relationship more and more better. Now, when Kezia, when she was punished by her father for tearing the papers and he bet him, so it was her grandmother who comforted and said her, okay, it's fine, no worries, don't cry now. Okay, and only she understood her pain. Okay, grandma understood that it was very little bit rude. So earlier to whenever Kezia would get scared by her nightmares, grandmother would take care of her. So before this butcher wala nightmare, when she used to get other nightmares too, her grandmother would usually comfort and take care of her. So hence what we can conclude, that her affinity and support made Kezia look up for her everything, right? She presented as an example of true maturity and empathy that is mostly needed in families today. So that is what the major role grandmother depicts here. Next question is, Kezia was severely punished by her father for the pincushion incident. But her father might not have liked to beat the little child. Do you agree? Now see this. What happened was, Kezia tore the papers and everything, and the father bet her with a scale on the hand. You can understand, it's very rude. So, do you think the father enjoyed? He lied beating the little child, or what was it? So, let's understand. Now, Kezia was very severely punished by her father for the pincushion, right? She was punished because she tore the important papers, right? But again, on the other hand, she didn't knew. She was innocent. But I'm sure that her father's heart must have been pained during that moment. So during beating a child like this, little bit ruthlessly, so it would be a little bit, pain in the heart, okay, for the father also. Every parent is fond of his or child. Every parent does love their children, right? And they always desire to see them on the top, not do any mischievous and not, you know, disturb the balance. But if they punish them, it doesn't mean that they want to hurt them. Okay, it's not obviously necessary that they want to hurt them or they're doing it purposely. No, if they're mistaking and the child are making mistakes, so they just want to correct them. So Kezia had stuffed the pin cushion with the paper that contained the important speech, right? So her father punished her for taking something that did not belong to her without the permission. So that is why she was beaten also. But at the other hand, her father also was, in internally he would also have got little bit sad and regretted about it. Okay, yes, all right. Now, so his punishment had a lesson for Casey also. What lesson? That she shouldn't do like that again, right? So on the other hand, it was also not correct to punish a little girl by hitting her, right? Her father could have taught her of a better way to make her understand the value of things, right? And what I think is that it was very harsh to punish an innocent child of a fond daughter who was making a gift for her father. So basically, okay, it was good, it was okay that with that punishment got a lesson, but it was rude to beat that little girl with by hitting a ruler on the in the hand at a scale. It was a little bit, rude. So she was nothing but she was doing making a gift only. She did not knew about it, right? So undoubtedly we know for sure the papers were very very important for him, okay, and the loss will cause a lot of inconvenience, but still he should have heard of Kezia's point of view also and understood her things. But a firm but gentle reprimand would have sufficed to teach the sensitive Kezia not to touch things that did not belong to her. So basically, at the end, yes, the father would have definitely felt bad about it, but yeah, beating wasn't the good thing. A gentle reprimanding would help it out, okay, and she wouldn't do it again, but beating would a little bit rude. Now, last chapter of the day is the Adventures of Toto. That's the last chapter we are going to do today. Okay, okay, and then we are completed with our today's session. So let's go with the adventures of Toto. Now, what is this? Basically, this story is very cute, and this talks about a very cute baby monkey who is Toto. Right. So basically, there is one author's grandfather. Okay, he took a, what I can say, a monkey from a tonga driver at 5 rupees. He bought a baby monkey at his zoo where other animals were also kept, right? He named him as Toto. Now this Toto monkey was very naughty, clever, bright, and uncontrollable. He was very, naughty, and he used to do so much things, jump here and there, tear things, tear that, right? And grandma, she disliked the animal, so the grandfather and the author, they hid the Toto. He was kept in the cupboard. He used to break the logs, remove the pegs out, causes havoc, and all those things, right? Now Toto even loved bathing also. What did he do? One time in the boiling kettle, he jumped into that, and he almost was succeeded in burning him. He even troubled Nana the donkey. So basically the grandfather had a zoo, right? He had many more animals. So in there was a donkey named as Nana. So that he also was, troubled by Toto. Correct. Now once what happened was the grandfather had to go to Saharanpur for some work. So he took Toto also. Now Toto, what happened was he took what Toto he was charged the price. Okay, the ticket collector says that there will be a fine of 3 rupees because you're carrying a dog. Okay, so basically, the ticket collector couldn't identify that it was a monkey. He said that this is a dog, you have to pay for it. So he paid, the grandfather paid more 3 rupees. But at the end, Toto was super super, a trouble. He used to throw plates at the guest, break the rice plate and everything, and he was doing a lot of nuisance. So at the end, grandfather decided we cannot afford this much. We are not so rich to break whatever he breaks, we'll bring them back. So he sold Toto back to the Tonga driver at the price of 3 rupees. So this is what had happened. So based on this, we'll quickly do a few important questions. So we have to describe Toto in our own words. So Toto the monkey, we can describe in our own words how. So basically, we can use the TT structure, that is TTT structure: type, trait, and transformation. So here, Toto, he is the main character of this entire story, Adventures of Toto, and he was brought into the author's grandfather who always wanted a monkey for his private zoo. Okay, now Toto is present as the static character in the story, is the main character. Okay, but now he was very mischievous, nuisance making, fun loving, and trouble making a monkey. So he was a baby monkey. He used to do a lot of mischiefs. Now he loved jumping around and making trouble for others. He was a pretty He had bright eyes, sparkling with mischief, and white teeth also. But he was very mischievous. He did not listen to other animals, and always liked to get into trouble. He teared the wallpaper of the room. Then tore the writer's blazer also, and the dress of writer's aunt. And then he removed the peg, broke the clutches. Then he threw plates on others. So he did lot of mischief, right? He also liked to throw things at other people. Okay, he once threw a plate at the writer's grandmother, and a glass of water at the aunt also. And he did not get along with other animals in the grandfather's zoo. Okay, like Nana the donkey. Nana the donkey was also disturbed by him. The character of Toto and the incidents that we come across in this whole chapter, it makes the reader think if one should keep animals as a pet or not, because they do so much mischievous. So if one is ready to handle such kind of things, so yes, you can keep it. If not, you should be aware about it. Correct. Now, based on your reading of the lesson Adventures of Toto, do you think it's good idea to keep animals as pet? Now, Toto, he was so mischievous, so nuisance making. So, should we keep pets or should we just avoid them? What should we do? So, basically, the thesis is that Adventures Toto, we get to know about the fascination of some people for animals. Some people are totally, addicted to animals. They keep so many types of animal in their home. But one should always be aware about the problems that may arise when one keep a pet at the home. So you should be aware what can be the consequences. Now, as for me, I think it's a good idea we can keep animals as pets, but one should be always ready to do the efforts and face the challenges also. Okay. Now, this can be disadvantages not exclusive to the family, but keeping animals, but to animal as well. We find in case of Toto. Okay, so basically, it's okay if you keep animal, but it's very important to see that if the animals doesn't harms himself or others also. Like in Toto, he nearly burned himself and he would die. So that is not a good thing, isn't it? So truth be told, the actual fact is that additionally it also raises the question about necessity of taking animals away from the natural environment, right? So monkeys, donkeys where they live in jungles and forests, and why to take from them and keep it, right? So that is one more thing you should keep in mind. So basically, the main summary is that the story we get to know that it talks about animals and this petship, but you should be aware about what can be the consequence, and that's the main thing. Yeah. Yes, we are going to do the Menti quiz now. All right. So elucidate Toto's behavior when he was kept alone in the servant's quarter with other animals, and how did grandfather respond to it? So, wow, Toto was kept in the servant's quarter with other animals because he was very mischievous. He used to do too much nuisance. He did not allow other animals to sleep at night like Nana the donkey. He couldn't sleep at night. He used to pull his ear, beat him, and that way. And the grandfather decided to take Toto to Saharanpur, right? And then what happened was, therefore, a big strong canvas bag was arranged for Toto, and he was put inside, and then he got, yes, fine was even given to for taking Toto. So this was all about our today's marathon session. We're quickly going to do a quiz of 5 questions, right? We're quickly going to do a quiz, and then we're done with our today's session. So what is the code? I'll tell you. You have to go to menti.com, right? It's a Menti quiz. You have to go to menti.com and enter the code 1289100. 1289100. That is the code. I'll be even sharing the links here. So yes, this is our midterm revision session for the chapters we studied: the fun they had, Sound of Music, Little Girl, and Adventures of Toto. Right. So this is all about the poem. I'm going to. I mean the chapter. This is a quick marathon. So yes, we are going to do the quiz now. Okay. So yes, I'm sharing the quiz link. Okay. So yes, I have copied it. I'm going to share it in the chat box. Okay, yes, I have shared the link. Yes, everyone can join over there. All right, let me see. Okay, I can see one has joined. Okay, I can see one. Again, I'll repeat the code. It's 1289100. Okay, it's 1289100. That is the code of the quiz, so you can join there. All right, it's a 5 question quiz. We're going to learn about the. We're going. It's quickly the summary. Okay, so code again 1289100. That's the code. Okay, you all can join over there. Yes, yes, I've shared the link. Okay, I can see more have joined. Okay, so once everyone has joined, then we can start with the today's quiz. Okay, so as I said, the same chapter which we discussed, right? All those chapters are going to do it. What quickly are going to do it was a marathon session, right? So yes, so I'll enter it. And so the first question is, why would anyone write about school? Who said this? So who said this line from the fun they had? Why would anyone write about school? So who was the person who wrote this? Okay, that we have to answer. Who could have written this? You have to answer that. So okay, everyone has voted, and it's 100%. Good job. So yes, it's 100%, and the correct answer to this question is Margie. So Margie was the one who said that who will write about the school. Okay, so that is what Margie said. Next question. Question number two is, okay, fine. Okay, you can answer me in the chat box. Alright, you can answer me in the chat. That's fine. Okay. Next question is, why is the poet asking to be wise while choosing a pathway? Okay, this is from Road Not Taken. Okay, I'm really sorry. So, why is the poet asking to be wise while choosing a pathway? So, you can answer this, alright, if you know. Okay, I'm really sorry. It's from Road Not Taken chapter. Alright, so let's see how many give the correct answer. So, okay, that's good. It's 100%. So, yep, it's fine. So, yes. Alright, let's see the next question. Next question is question number three. That is, why did the ticket collector not charge grandfather for carrying a tortoise with him? Okay, in from Adventures of Toto, why was he carried a tortoise also? Why was that not charged? So that you have to tell me. So yes, the correct answer. Let's see. So yes, everyone has voted, and the correct answer is because the tortoise was not a dog. Because only he said that dogs will be charged, and he considered that Toto is a dog. That's why he applied a charge on him. Okay. Now going to the next one. Question number four, the second last question of the day. That is, how does Evelyn hear the sound of xylophone? Xylophone sound, how does Evelyn hear it? Through her fingernails, fingertips, or index finger, or none of them? How does she feel the xylophone? That we have to answer over here. So everyone has voted, and the correct answer is through her fingertips. So through her fingertips, she used to feel the xylophone vibrations. Okay. Now last question of the day, that is, Tahar Mosque Ustad Bismillah Khan Auditorium is situated where? So you have to tell. There is an auditorium in the name of Bismillah Khan. That is Tahar Mosque Ustad Bismillah Khan. So where is it, that auditorium? So everyone has voted, and the correct answer is Tehran. It's located in Tehran, where he one of he gave the, you know, his performance. So yes, we have the leaderboard. We have Rohan and Limo on the top. Congratulations to you, both of you. And with this, we have completed with our today's session. Thank you so much for attending. Make sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel if you didn't do it till now. We'll be coming up very soon with more such amazing videos. I'll be seeing you soon in our next video. Till then, take care and goodbye. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.